It's 1993 and Japan has finally completed their magnum opus, Astro Boy.
There you go, Astro Boy, on your flight.
Astro Boy is released and it's just hit the people's TV screens. And that's the day that anime has officially left its mark on the entertainment industry. And I'm not gonna act like I did research on this show, but Astro Boy had to be pretty popular back then for it to revolutionize Japanese entertainment. This little cartoon guy single-handedly changed the future, as this was the base form for the anime that we're watching today. And I know that sounds crazy when we're watching I got reincarnated as a vending machine in another world, but with each passing decade, a change is made for mainstream anime. That could be for better or worse, and honestly, there's not really a lot to say about this year. The time that I really want to talk about is the late 90s. That's when the real bangers finally hit our screens. You probably think I'm crazy saying that Astro Boy was the origin story for a show like Dragon Ball, seeing that the only thing you can relate between the two shows is that they're both 2D. But hey man, 10 years changes a lot of people and what they consider peak content really is. With Astro Boy being what was popular at the time, now just move on a few years and Sailor Moon, you could honestly describe human evolution with just those two answers. The late 90s was honestly one of the best years for anime. Great shows like Cowboy Bebop, Evangelion, Trigun, One Piece, and the deep hole that is called Gundam was released during this year, and an aesthetic that is still looked upon as a vibe today. And this was also the year where Shonen Jump finally started popping off, with the release of DBZ cementing what we thought peak Shonen was. Where usually the stories were just about a bunch of dudes throwing hands, a bunch of cool violence, and fighting for what's right. This were the shows that was inspiring the younger generation. Like, I watched the shonen shows of this period and I'm like, damn, these shows really make me want to do better in life, make me want to work harder, and make me realize that I have a purpose, just like everyone else. Skip to 2024 and
bullets may fly round, but I lay down. I feel safe and sound on solid ground. How can I lay down?
And the thing is, there were some heavy shows that were in that time, but like, they were just hidden at the back while a few people were watching them, while the majority of kids were watching that cool Naruto or that Dragon Ball. So honestly, I don't know what changed. This era's peak is most definitely a weird one. Trying to explain to my grandpa why an elf lady who does chores for the community is better than literal samurais fighting to the death, it's a hard task to accomplish. A lot of the shows recently have diverged so far from what was good anime back then. Shorter shows are preferred more than the longer ones. Shows that deliver more real stories are preferred compared to the completely fiction. And you can clearly tell that Shonen Jump has also changed compared to what it once was. The usual shonen shows are still there, don't get me wrong. But when you think Shonen Jump 2024, most of us is probably gonna think Jujutsu Kaisen is the most popular show that has come out in recent years, and honestly, it makes sense. It contains all the factors that other shonen shows have had in the past and has amalgamated it into its own product. A lot of the action scenes, in my opinion, show that they have clearly taken inspiration from those shows. For example, that one scene where Yuji was preparing to use Black Flash, that's gotta be a Hunter x Hunter reference. The power system that show has built for itself and the logic behind it is truly a work of art. Gege Kutami is also known for not being afraid to take any risks, like completely carrying a character off and having no regrets. And not a lot of shows back then had the balls to do that, especially at such a quick pace without even giving us time to process those characters' deaths or even letting us accept the fact that they were alive at some point. One of the biggest problems of JJK was that they didn't give us enough time to settle in with those characters. Yuki Tsukumo being one of those characters that got hyped up and given so much potential due to the grand goal she had that rivaled Suguru Geto's mission. And all that just for her to get. And you could also argue that Megumin couldn't show his potential, but really, we kinda did get to see what he was able to do since Sukuna was taking over his body. Jujutsu Kaisen represented what modern shonen is like, and probably what it will be like in future. Some people won't like it, and some people will. And those are the people who don't like change.